All right, Senator Lindsey Graham joins us tonight to talk more about this. So good to have you back on. I know you want to talk about the leak of this draft opinion here, and we're going to get to that here in just a second. But first, I want to start with your reaction to just this idea that Roe versus Wade could be repealed.
Well, since the day it was decided, it's divided America.
Yeah.
Before 1973, every state decided what they would like to do with defining when life begins and abortion rights. That was the law of the land before 1973. The Supreme Court created a legal fiction called substantive due process to create a constitutional right that's not in the Constitution, to deny every state elected official the ability to comment on life when it begins and how you can terminate it. And if the court sets aside Roe v. Wade, it will return America to the position it was in 1973, where elected officials in each of the 50 states can decide the issues regarding life. Yeah. Roe v. Wade was a constitutional overstep. I hope the court will roll it back.
And on that same topic, NBC News is claiming that there are 23 states in this country, including your home state, which would completely ban abortion if Roe versus Wade were to be overturned. I want to ask you if you believe that is true, if you believe that is the case, and if so, are you worried about the politics of that? Because, in my opinion, you'd be handing the left a very powerful rallying cry ahead of the midterms.
So the country's divided on abortion.
Yeah.
Late-term abortions, there's a huge majority against an abortion in the third trimester. There's division early on in the pregnancy. I understand both sides of the issue. I am pro-life, proudly so. I have exceptions for pregnancies as a result of rape, incest, or where the mother's life would be jeopardized by continuing the pregnancy.
Sure.
Leave that situation up to the family. I think that's probably where South Carolina will come out. But in a democracy, the question for us all, is it good to add constitutional rights that don't exist in the Constitution because you prefer an outcome? I would argue that wanting an outcome is not the justification to change the Constitution. It's not the justification to destroy the integrity of the court by leaking a memo. Wanting to get an election outcome is no justification to do away with Electoral College, to deny smaller states like South Carolina a voice.
Sure.
Packing the court is not a good outcome because you destroy the court. Even though you want a more liberal court, to add members to the court will destroy it.
Let me ask you this. I want to stick to this because this is one of these issues that it just seems there's no way to satisfy everybody. It's one of those impossible issues that we have in this country. What do you say to the people that I completely agree? I think most people don't even really like abortion in the second trimester. I think most people are comfortable with it in the first 12 to 14 weeks. First trimester seems to be where the greatest comfort zone in this country is. What do you say to people that say, yeah, you're right, third trimester is ridiculous, but also ridiculous would be to repeal it completely and offer no, and to do what it does appear that a lot of states are poised to do?
Here's what I'd say to people. When you get a handful of judges creating a constitutional right that doesn't exist, that's dangerous for us all. Okay. You may like the outcome today, you may not like it tomorrow. So what I would say is that we're all better off when judges stay in their lane. The best way to determine when life begins and what abortion rights exist is for people in politics like me to make that decision. And if you don't like the decision, you can kick me out. When you have a handful of judges taking that away from elected officials and manufacturing a constitutional right that doesn't exist, that's pretty dangerous. You're
taking, and that's what a lot of people have said today. You're taking this out of the will of the people. When the Supreme Court makes a decision like this, the will of the people, what the people want, no longer matters. It has become this, as you say, a manufactured constitutional right that a lot of people don't believe really exists. I want to get to the topic that I think you're most interested in on this. You tweeted today, it's a sad day for the Supreme Court and a dangerous day for the rule of law. The radical assault on our institutions and the Constitution itself has reached a new level with the release of a draft opinion on a major issue facing the court. It hasn't happened in the court's history as far as we can tell. Why exactly is it so dangerous?
Well, here's what I think. We live in a dangerous time in this regard. You know, conservatives, we have our view of how life should be. Liberals have their view. Yeah. But there's an element of the Democratic Party that wants an outcome and the process be damned. They're literally willing to expand the number of Supreme Court justices because the court is too conservative in their view. If you start changing the court based on every election cycle, you destroy the court. They're literally willing to abolish the Electoral College so that New York and California will pick the president, not other people in the country like South Carolina. Right. They're willing to make D.C. a state to increase their power in the United States Senate. What they're willing to do is change every institution in America to get an outcome they want, and eventually we won't be a rule of law nation. So to the person, if it's a liberal, it's going to backfire. The judges are going to hold tight. This is going to blow up in your face. The midterms will not be decided on Roe v. Wade. They're going to be decided on your personal safety, inflation,
sure.
The issues that people care about the most.
And real quick, and please, an honest answer, your opinion here. Do you think that this tightens it up? If they do repeal Roe versus Wade, do you think it tightens up the situation in the midterms? I know you say it won't be decided by this, but what do you think?
I don't think so, because there's passion on both sides, right?
Okay.
But most people are not single-issue voters. Most people are going to vote based on their economic well-being and how they feel about the safety of their community, about the border, about inflation, about crime. So this is an effort to change the subject because they can't talk about their record otherwise. So I don't think it's going to matter in the 2022 election, but I think it will matter to the court for the rest of our lifetime. I think what the person who did this, or persons, have really hurt the court. And that breaks my heart, because we all need a place we can go to resolve our differences without politics. And a big blow was laid on the court today.
Yeah, that is exactly right. Senator Lindsey Graham, sir, thank you for the time.